Sometimes you just sit there and you're trying to think of an intro and nothing comes to mind. Guys, this is Tabs, and today we'll be taking an adventure into the Heaven faction to discover, is the Heaven faction any good? Is the Heaven faction strong? Is it better than the other factions? We kind of need to discover that for science. So let's do science. For the three of you who have not seen how to go to the Heaven faction, this is how you do it. You go to Medieval 1, this beautiful place, and you go down beneath to the secret door, or what was once the secret door, but the secret no more. You come to the secret door, and you stand right there, and the glowing happens, the glowing begins, and eventually it'll pop open. You'll have access to a beautiful room filled with wonderful mysteries, just like that. You come inside and you're like, oh, look at this beautiful room. Look at this light over here. Why is there light shining from that room? It's wonderful. And as soon as you look over here at this little kid, the portal begins to open. And you get this beautiful glow. The floor comes up, and then out of nowhere, shoom, the portal to heaven. Let's go on an adventure, shall we? And boom, we are here in the Heaven faction. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to see how strong the heavenly faction units are, including the secret unit, the Solar Architect, I believe its name was. And once we get a feel for what they can do and their abilities, we'll pit them against the other factions, and we'll see which faction is strongest, Heaven or the other ones. So the first ones are the Devout gauntlets. We used these guys a little bit before. They're fairly strong. I'm going to grab some random units. What's the power level of this faction? 800 power. So let's grab 8 squires just to see what the Devout gauntlets can do. I mean, they look fantastic. The gauntlets are glowing, beautiful mustaches, because, you know, mustaches mean you're a good guy, right? Though that mustache makes me think you're a super villain. Every single villain I have seen wearing the twirly mustache has always been a bad guy. So maybe they were bad guys. They've been converted into devout melee units who like to come in and punch the daylights out of these squires. Equal point squires versus Heaven units. There is a dead Heaven unit. There's actually a couple. There's more than a couple. One-on-one. Here we go. Is it more powerful than the squires? Come on, get in there. Give it a swift punch in the chest. It's still alive. It survived one punch. Didn't survive 2 punches. Look at that. Look at the explosion of light coming off of that punch. That's actually fantastic. The second unit is the Crystal Aegis, or the Celestial Aegis, and I actually theorized that the little bubbles around them could slow projectiles. I'm just guessing. So I'm going to grab some archers, and we're going to get equal point archers up in here, like that. A little bit more powerful archers than the Crystal Aegises. They throw these bombs at a distance, and the bombs deal a bunch of damage, but I'm waiting to see the arrows being shot. Did I miss the arrows shooting? Were they deflected? I wasn't paying attention. I did not pay close enough attention. I'm gonna try that again. One more time. Here we go. Archers, right there, right there, right there. Waiting for the arrows, waiting for the arrows. Okay, here they come, here they come. Yo, my theory was correct. It wobbles off of them and it gives them sound effect. With that sound effect as well. Fantastic. Although she's got eyes of a demon. Guys, that's not a celestial unit, that is a demonic unit. Somebody exercise that lady. So they do block projectiles. What projectiles can they block? What about ballista bolts? Over here, come on down to Dynasty. The watches actually, those 2 watches. I gotta see it. I gotta know. And then I'll do some further watches just in case. I want to see this happen, guys. This is gonna be insane. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Is it perfect? It's not perfect. Eventually, the bubbles are overpowered. They're ruined. Yep, bubble goes down, and then the rest of the Huwatch arrows can go. So you can overpower the bubbles on these units, but what about the ballista bolts? I mean, that's the real question. I mean, I know. I was distracted by the Huwatch. I saw them. I was like, oh my god, Huwatches. But I want to see the ballistas get through. Can they single shot the bubble? It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Wait for it. Just trying to like time it nicely. There. It did not. It did. The first volley overpowered it. Maybe if their accuracy was better, it would hit the actual units. But it did overpower the shields. Here's a question. Do the shields come back? Can they recast their shields after? Yep, they do. Their shields come back. You can overpower them, and they do come back. That's very interesting. Kind of reminds me of the shield from Solar Smash, the planet shield. Kind of give me that kind of a vibe. Now we have the Radiant Glaives, and I really like their design. I love the helmet, and I love these weapons. I think they're probably one of my favorite looking weapons available in Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, because it's kind of like it's almost like Xena the Warrior Princess's throwing chakram, but it's also like punching daggers, and they also throw them. They're just really cool. And the shields are pretty simple. I do like this emblem on the front, that holy emblem. Now let's see if they do the deflecty bouncy bit. This is the question. Impact. The shields and nothing happened. I could have swore I saw the glaives, the throwing daggers, deflect and bounce from unit to unit, and the hoplites just decimated these units. Equal power as well. Let's test the bouncy a little bit more. Let's grab some simple farmers, and I'll spread the farmers out, and we'll see if we can get these glaives to do any of that bouncing. So I could have swore I saw the bouncing, guys. Here we go. Like that. Yep. There's some ricochet going on. Confirmed ricochet. Boom. Bounce off of him. And then hits that guy. Bounce off of him. Hits 3. Going for a 4th. And there's no 4th over there. So they do deflect. But on the hoplites, they hit the shield. And the shield stopped the deflection. It stopped the damage. So if you have shield units, don't use these guys. Now, these righteous paladins are epic. The hammer ability was phenomenal. We actually saw a sneak peek of the hammer ability in a hacked unit months and months ago, which is cool. So these guys have 3,200 points worth of points, and I don't know what I'm going to throw at them right now. Let's throw some halberd units. I'm pretty sure I can get to 3,200. Yep, like that. 8 halberds versus 4 paladins. I love the paladin appearance. I love everything about the holy faction. It's my favorite faction right now because I'm the holy type. Those chest plates, they leap into the air to do their hammer smash. I didn't know that. I thought they just hammer down. No, they jump and they leap and they have a lot of HP. Oh, I should have HP bars on right now. That would help tremendously for testing these units. These hammer guys are fantastic. They do a little hop, skip, and a jump, which is just so cool. But the halberds, they don't stand a chance. But one of the paladins seems to be dead. No, he's alive. He's alive as these units fall in a little pit here. Also, did you guys notice? On the map, there's some corruption happening. Look at this. Look at the statue here on the left. You see the corruption coming out of it? The darkness, the black miasma coming out of it? And there's another statue over here that's destroyed. That looks to be the same corruption that comes out of one of the evil units. We'll show you that in a future video. But for now, the paladins are quite strong. I think they're definitely better than the glaive units for their power. They're very strong for their power. Now we have the divine arbiters, and they're going to fight a whole bunch of skeletons, equal points. They're going to fight the skeletons. I want to see what the Divine Arbiters do again, right? These things, they send out the balls, and then the balls explode in a fury of damage. But clearly, they're not very good against large armies. Large armies overwhelm them. So instead of large armies, what about 2 much larger units? Here comes the explosions from heaven. Is it enough to kill them? No, they berserk. They berserk. So it seems they're good. But I think they're actually underpowered for their power level. I mean, that was 4,000. That was less points of Jarls. Only 3,000 points of Jarls versus 4,000 points worth of the Divine Arbiters. But they don't seem to stand a chance. Large armies overtake them, and small armies overpower them. So they're definitely a support character, not powerful enough to be used on their own in an equal value fight. Okay, check this fight out. We have an interesting concept here. I'll walk you through it. So we have 4 of these elephant units. They're worth about 2,000 points each. And I wanted to do this so I can test them against different types of opponents. The first type is equal value 2,000 points of squires. So it's 1 powerful unit versus lots of little units. I'll see how that fight goes. Over here, we've got medium power units. 2,000 points worth of ninjas, 1 versus 4 as opposed to 1 versus 20. So a slightly different kind of fight. They're also ranged units as opposed to melee units. A very different fight. This elephant over here is going to fight Kira the Pirate Queen, who's 2,500. Slightly more powerful in terms of point value than the elephant unit. And then over here we have Da Vinci, who is 4,000 points, double the value of the elephant. So this will give us 4 different types of fights to really test these elephants. And let's see what happens. So over here you've got the squires being stomped by the elephants, kind of what I expected. Over here you've got the elephant. Look at the spears being thrown by the riders are damaging the ninjas severely. Over here, Kira the Pirate Queen is fighting this guy in tight. The rider has been vanquished. And then Da Vinci over here is just mopping up, being Da Vinci. There are still a bunch of squires. Never mind, the squires are dead. The squires are dead. So lots of little units wasn't enough. The ninjas weren't enough. Kira the Pirate Queen seems to be dead, but Da Vinci is holding his own. I'm a little bit surprised that Kira the Pirate Queen went down. Kira was worth 500 more points than the elephant unit. I do love the fact that these spears deal some AoE damage. By the way, these spears are just gorgeous looking weapons. They're so nice. Now it's time to do some tests with the Chronomancer, the gentleman that turns into an angel, which is fantastic. Let's start with a whole boatload of squires, and you can see the squires being frozen in time, and they're still physically there as the units have to like walk around them. But lots of units are getting in tight on the Chronomancer, who's trying to fight them off. And here it comes, the angel transformation. It's gorgeous. It's just a beautiful. Did you see that? Okay, let's not do squires. Let's do some fewer units. Let's go to the ninjas. A little range action going on. Where are those ninjas? So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ninjas. Equal power, 6 ninjas, as opposed to the 30 squires. Now the ninjas stop in time, throwing their ninja stars, dealing damage to the Chronomancer while being frozen in time, which is kind of a cool way to look at it. Chronomancer has already won. It's already won. He's already killed all of them. Are you kidding me? Okay, how about one unit? The Samurai Giant, also worth 3,000 points. He's being crowd controlled. He's being juggled at a distance, frozen in time, and just being held back. Transformation, and now I'm waiting for the... It's still doing the whole thing. I was hoping for a big old boom, or maybe because there's a lot of little units, he did a big old boom, but versus one unit, the angel knows it can just continue to crowd control this giant, this poor samurai giant, who has no chance, absolutely no chance of getting even remotely close to the angel, the beautiful glowing angel from heaven. This fight's one-sided. Equal point value, 3,000 to 3,000. It's not even a fight. It's a slaughter. It's a disgusting display of slaughter power. So let's take the Chronomancer against something more powerful. 10,000 points. Super Boxer versus 3,000 point Chronomancer. Now, Super Boxer has a lot of HP, but the Chronomancer is going to do that crowd control thing again and just continuously keep the Super Boxer at bay. The Super Boxer doesn't stand a chance unless it has some ranged abilities, or because it's just going to get crowd controlled and juggled and juggled and juggled just like this. Angel versus Super Boxer. Super Boxer seemed to have gotten a punch on there. Not too bad, Mr. Boxer, but now the Angel will keep you right here. Boom, frozen in time. It's just not good enough. You need a certain kind of unit. How about a tank? How about a tank, Mr. Chronomancer? The tank can shoot you with a cannon, even if you freeze it in time. It has a ranged attack. Gets close, it's gonna... I like what the units are just wobbling around on top. Okay, 6,000 points of tank, getting in tight. The units on top are being frozen in time. I believe they're dead. The tank is having a hard time shooting the angel because it can't line up its big old nose. It's got a big old cannon nose, guys. Still not good enough. This is probably overkill. This is probably beyond overkill. That's the super peasant, the dark peasant versus the Chronomancer. Dark peasant go with the slam slam. And one, yeah, that was a lot of overkill. It's faction fight time. Here on the left, you've got the Holy Faction, 2 paladins in the front, as well as 3 as the melee units, 2 of the ranged suppressors. You've got 3 of the AoE glaive units, 1 elephant, 2 of the divine arbiters, and then 1 Chronomancer in the back. And then right now, equal points value. I think there's only 10 points in between them, guys. You've got the tribal faction, and because they're full of a bunch of weak units, you need to have a boatload more individual units to get to the power level of the Holy Faction. Who's going to win? Actually, before we begin, comment down below, guys, before the fights even start, any of the fights, and tell me which faction do you think will defeat the Holy Faction? Which faction? Any of them, except for the evil faction. We'll do the good versus evil faction in another video. Anything but the evil faction. Which faction will defeat the Holy Faction? And here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. The fight begins. The righteous paladins with their AoE slams are disgusting. The chieftains are moving in. The AoE mage is moving in. The mammoth is coming in. Glaives are bouncing here amongst the wizards. Chieftain's getting knocked back. The Chronomancer hasn't even joined the fight yet. Most of the fodder has been completely annihilated. Blue is littering the ground. Here comes the angel, the elephant, the divine arbiters, and the Holy Faction just decimated that faction. Now it's time for the farmer faction. 4 Larrys, 5 Bob Rosses, 1 Scarecrow, and then a hodgepodge in the middle because I had to get it down to an equal fight. I don't have much faith in the farmer faction, guys. What do you think? Do you feel good about these Larrys and their chances? Because I really don't. I have a bad feeling this is not going to go well. Though the barrel riders, if they could not fall into the pits there, that'd be great. They can get in tight and start to do some damage, especially on a lot of the weaker melee units, and especially the weaker ranged units. The elephant is there. Larry's potions are causing confusion. The angel has transformed. The glaive units are in the back. The scarecrow is still alive. Larry's are still alive, causing a boatload of confusion. The elephant is dead. Here come the scarecrow units coming in on the Chronomancer itself, but in the end, red victory. Just not enough firepower, not enough power in the farmer faction. Maybe as we get further on into the more powerful factions, you might see a change of fortunes. Now it's time for King Philip and his faction. 2 catapults, 1 King Philip, 1 Benny the Bard, because it's Benny the Bard. He's not very useful. Handful of healers, knights, squires, and archers. Let's see what happens. Now, I have a better feeling about the knights with the amount of durability HP they have, and maybe King Philip get in there and deal some damage. The archers have got to deal with the angel, or there's no fight here. Lots of AoE damage. Catapults, friendly firing, King Philip, not a good time. King Philip going in with his sword behind his back, being AoE controlled, time stop controlled, even though he's being healed by a healer. If the time stop guy can get in on these rangers, these archers, that will deal a big difference. King Philip is fighting against the elephant rider of all things. This faction is doing a pretty good job. Catapult. Let's go, dude! The catapult just smacked into the Chronomancer, completely demolishing it. That was fantastic. King Philip, my boy, let's go. Now it's time with the action faction. I've put some minotaurs on the outside of the fight. I want them to slam in from the outside and funnel things into the middle so that Zeus can have a good time with his lightning bolts. Ancient faction. Oh, yep, the minotaurs did exactly what I kind of wanted them to do, but now the Chronomancer is crowd controlling them. The arbiters are AoE doing them. AoE doing them, that's a phrase. Zeus is in. The paladins are in on the melee. This ancient faction's going down, guys. The knight faction stood a better chance. I think because the knight faction has knights, and the knights had a bunch of HP, and they're very durable. Zeus versus the Chronomancer, having a hard time. Zeus, you're a god, but you're nothing compared to the Chronomancer. Look at that. It's like he's exploding holy energy out of his face. Ugh. Now we have the Viking faction, 4 Valkyries, 2 longboats, two longboats, and 1 Jarl here in the back, as well as a boatload of berserkers who are going to leap over and get in on the squishy targets here in the back line. Vikings, berserkers leap in, going on the paladins in the back, as well as these ranged units. If we can get the ranged protection is down. Now the ice archers can help as well from the rear without any of that range protection going on. The angel has transformed. The elephant is here. A paladin is still alive. He has the AoE slam ability. Boom! There you go. The Jarl is in with his ice prison, locking in the elephant, completely destroying the elephant. Our holy god is here. The Chronomancer is still alive. The angel continuing to crowd control. Wow, that's unfair. If you do the time freeze ability combined with the arbiters and they do their AoE ability, that's just too powerful. Oarsman in. Couple of ice archers left. 1 ice archer left. One of the better ones, but the red faction still won. Now it's time for the Dynasty faction. I have some faith in this one. I think the Huachas are going to decimate the holy faction. The dragon might deal some damage, and the firework archers, a little bit of crowd control with the zooming around and stuff. I have a good feeling about the Dynasty faction. Let's see what happens. The front line got wrecked. Here comes the Huacha fire. Are you kidding me? Look at that. It's the perfect arc. Up the stairs, down the stairs, and it just did. The elephant's dead, guys. That was just a boatload of damage. The Chronomancer is still alive. Another Huacha volley. The arbiter is down. Chronomancer went into angel form. Look at the amount of Dynasty faction that's still alive. These Huachas, look, the Huachas just smacking into the holy angel over and over and over. That was awesome. And the fireworks are crowd controlling. The fireworks are doing it. They're making him fly around. Guys, I think he's dead. I think the angel is dead. The angel's dead. The fireworks combined with the... Oh. Let's go! Dynasty faction, guys, let's go! Now it's time for the Renaissance. You got 3 jousters, will be interesting. The balloon archers might be some interesting crowd control, followed by Da Vinci, who I hope can get up the ramp if people can get out of his way. Maybe I should have put Da Vinci towards the front. Yeah, hold on. Let's just fix Da Vinci. There. Now Da Vinci can actually join in the fight. He couldn't get up the stairs. Poor Da Vinci. Jousters seem to have gotten wrecked. Balloon archers doing a little bit of work. Da Vinci's firing from the side. The Chronomancer. Angel. If we can get some crowd control on the Angel. There you go. Angel, get to work on Da Vinci. Keep freezing him. Time stopping him. The rest of the armies seem to be dead. There are a handful of balloon archers and musketeers still alive. And the crowd control is still continuing to happen, or try to happen here on Da Vinci, who's about to fall into the pit. And he's stuck. And he's done. And it seems the Da Vinci faction, the Renaissance, it is not enough to defeat the Angels. I have some faith in the pirates, guys. I really do. I think Kira and Kyle, Captain Kyle, Kira the Pirate Queen, they're going to do a good job. Cannons up top. I learned my lesson. They're higher up so they can fire immediately. Some harpooners, lots of chunk in the middle. I have a good feeling about the pirates. I think the cannons are going to do some major damage. I think Kira the Pirate Queen is going to dance here in the devil in the pale moonlight. The harpoon pulling in on the elephant, dragging the elephant to the harpooners, and the bomb throwers. Kira and Kyle are still alive. Kira's doing a little dance. Now we've got the Angel coming in. Lots of AoE damage. No, they lost. Oh, I was hoping the pirates could pull it off. We only have 2 victors so far. A perfect fight. 11,300 by 11,300. Equal fight. Reaper. Mr. Death himself. General Phantom. Pumpkin catapults. I think the catapults are going to do a pretty good job landing. Oh, yeah, baby. Little friendly fire. But that's perfectly fine. Pumpkin catapults did some work. And there's a lot of dead units, guys. There's a lot of dead red. The evil faction, the Halloween faction is coming in. The Reaper, Mr. Death himself. Lots of units trying to get in. Swords being thrown at the torso of the Angel himself. The Grand Arbiter, His Holiness. Yeah. Reapers. Halloween faction. Let's go. This should be very fascinating because you've got 4 of the gunslingers here in the back. They're going to rain down AoE bullets on the enemy and 2 snipers and 1 quick draw. Lassos on the outside. Meat shields in the front. I have a good feeling about this one as well. Meat shields taking the damage from the paladin's smite ability. AoE ranging up the bullets. Lightning bolts going in. Exploding cactuses coming in on the elephant. Elephant is down. Lots of blue still alive. The Holy Angel has transformed. Let's see what happens. Glaives coming in. Lots of bullets on the Holy Angel. Holy Angel is being decimated. And the Cowboy faction, the Western faction, had a lot of units still alive. Jeez. This was interesting to set up. This is the Legacy faction. I didn't want to use really powerful units, so I chose the most powerful unit to be Thor, God of Thunder, and he also has a backup of a handful of Gandalfs, which should be very fascinating, as well as barrel rollers on the outside. I'm hoping they get in there and kill mostly red and not as much blue. Legacy faction, equal point value, barrel rollers with the explosions as the, oh no, friendly fire. That's a lot of friendly fire. Gandalf's here in the back. Can they cause a little bit of crowd control? A little bit of spinning elephants? Nope. Thor, God of Thunder, you're not going to be enough versus the crowd control. Nope, it's not enough. I mean, honestly, if I use a super peasant or something like that, the fight would have been over. But I just wanted to have an equal fight, kind of something fair. And now that the fair fights are over, I think it's time for the super peasant to go in there and mop up the Holy faction. Hold on, is he being crowd controlled by the Chronomancer? No way, there we go. There's just so much out I can't even see. Super peasant is just OP, decimating these units. It's too good, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. That was the Holy faction. Maybe in a future video tomorrow, the next day, we will do the evil faction. And then at the end of the evil faction video, we will have the good faction fight the evil faction for supremacy of heaven versus hell. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you very much for watching.